what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford, sunny Clearwater, Florida. And guess what? We got something new, but it's gonna be like a 1 year type of thing. This is the 2019 Ford Fiesta ST, wait for it, line, the ST-Line. So as many of you are aware, you've been doing your homework, you've been studying, you've been paying attention, you know that Ford is gonna be eliminating its car lineup, passenger car lineup. Guess what? Except for the Mustang. This is the final year. They're saying goodbye, and they're doing it in a way to where people can slot into a Fiesta in many different forms. So with the Fiesta, it's known as that subcompact car, that car to get you from A to B, good on the gas. One thing that they wanted to help out was that with the ST, the sports technology Fiesta, with that turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, you had to know how to drive manual transmission for that. This ST-Line looks like a Fiesta ST, no turbocharger, but you do have the option of a 6-speed automatic transmission instead of just a manual gearbox. But let's go ahead and look at this hot pepper red Ford Fiesta ST-Line. You can see right off the bat, it's that familiar face. Remember, we've been stuck here in the USA without an updated Fiesta. Over in Europe, they have that new inline 3-cylinder engine with the turbocharger. Looks just like a Fiesta ST. I'm gonna have to zonk it. I feel like they should have kept the ST pure and not water it down, because that is a thing that's happening with a lot of car manufacturers, is they're taking their performance brands and they're watering them down and just throwing the badges all over the place. AMG has done it. When you look at Mercedes-Benz, you look at Volkswagen with the R line, that's another situation. Hyundai is now doing it with their N line of different models. So I've always liked the front of the Fiesta ST. I thought it made it look more aggressive with the larger grille, but as you can see, there's no ST badge here. But with this particular color, it works great because this car is really about fun, easy on the MPGs, and getting you from one place to another. Let's go ahead and check out the side of the ST-Line. Now, one thing that I'm glad that Ford did, they didn't just use the ST wheels and just brought them over. What they did was they came out with this new, this is a 10-spoke wheel, 16 inches in diameter. I like the design of it, and I think the black works great with the color of this particular car. But it's one of those things, if you want the performance model, guess what? Here at Walker Ford, you could still get yourself a Fiesta ST. This is it though. Make up your mind. You have choices if you want to go this route. Another way to tell what this is the ST-Line badge. It's actually an attractive badge, but with that ST logo, normally sports technology, ST, means that you have more power. This has 120 horsepower, but the car weighs about 2,600 pounds. So it's one of those power to weight ratio type of things. As we go down the side of the car, you can see with the ST-Line, you're getting the blacked out mirrors, works great with the wheels, and also the blacked out roof. I like those touches. And you know what? If I was to get a Fiesta ST, I would like to see a blacked out roof on it, because I really like that, how it mixes with the color of the car. As we continue our way back, Fiesta styling all the way to the rear. Now here's some differences. This is a Fiesta ST rear wing. I love the rear wing on this car, and I actually like the way that they blended it black on the wing with the black from the roof. I think it looks really clean with this particular color. And when we wrap it out back, like I said, if they did Fiesta ST at the front, they did Fiesta ST on the rear. You have your twin exhaust outlets. I personally think it's a little ridiculous that they're doing this, especially that they're getting rid of the car anyways. But I bet you they probably had a bunch still sitting around and they figured, hey, it's a great way to push more off of the dealer lots. But I've always liked the back of the Fiesta ST, especially this lower diffuser. If I'm gonna zonk it, I would like to see, if you're gonna make a ST-Line badge, where's the one back here? I would like to see that located right there to let you know that you got something a little different than your standard Fiesta. Let's go ahead and check out underneath the hood of that inline 4-cylinder engine. Let's check it out. All right guys, here we are underneath the hood of this hot pepper red metallic 2019 Fiesta ST-Line. That is that tried and true 1.6 liter inline 4 naturally aspirated, so no turbocharger from the ST. You're looking at the end of the day, 120 horsepower, 112 foot-pounds of torque. This one is mated to the optional power shift 6-speed automatic transmission. The wonderful thing is the car weighs, with that gearbox, about 2,600 pounds. You're gonna get 28 miles per gallon in the city and 35 in the highway. And I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing is gonna be the price point. The MSRP on this car is $19,999. So $20,000 gets you in to this really affordable, great hatchback. Let's go ahead and fire up this 1.6 liter inline 4 and just see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Fiesta ST, wait for it, line. Remember, price point right under 20,000. Let's look at the door panels. Obviously, it's going to be a sea of black color there. Cloth material on the armrest. It is soft. I don't know how well it will wear, but your elbow resting on it, it actually feels pretty good. All the materials are harder plastic, but you gotta compare apples to apples here. This is coming at a much lower price point than a lot of other cars that we have reviewed here at Raiti's Rides. There is very soft material on the dash. I like the use of the silver around the AC vents. I wish they would have took some of that silver and brought it onto the door panel, would it have really added to the cost. I think they could have done that and had it at the same price. Interior, cloth seats, but I do like the red contrast stitching, and I like the material and the design. Even the ST-Line is a nice touch that's embroidered into the seat. Center console, I like the way it's low because it gives you a lot of room. If you haven't been in a Fiesta because you think it is so small, it is a subcompact, surprisingly it has a lot of room. I'm 6 feet tall. I've been in a lot of other cars where I have less headroom. This gives you tons of headroom, tons of space, shoulders and arms. Another nice thing that I think is smart is that they use the upgraded infotainment screen. The size is good. It's that sync system, which is really easy to navigate. It's all touchscreen, very easy to work. I think that is a very nice touch. I like the piano black, the gloss black around the controls. It gives it a little bit extra upscale feel. There's no heated seats in this, which I would have to zonk that. I would like to see heated seats. The button is here, but they obviously blacked it out. Very simplistic AC controls, but you know what? They work and they're easy to understand and read. There's that 6-speed automatic transmission. You can get a manual. 5-speed manual is available. I do like the way they brought the gloss black in. You got 2 cup holders, a 12-volt, that good old-fashioned e-brake, and then a very comfortable armrest. It is a rubber material, but still comfortable at a good height. Why don't you come on over to the business side and I'll show you what's happening over here for the drive. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel, the business end of the Fiesta ST-Line. What's nice is that they gave some nice treatment to the door sill down here with the ST-Line logo. That's a nice touch. Also the pedals. Remember, there's just 2 of them because it's an automatic, but they're 2 attractive pedals, finished in nice aluminum, which is a nice extra touch that I was not expecting when I got in. Steering wheel, great size, great feel. I like the use of the leather, the contrast stitching all the way around on the inside. The gauges, I've zonked them before, I'll zonk them again. They're very simplistic. I do like the silver around the pods themselves, but the actual graphics that they use and whatnot is a little bit on the cheap looking side. And then there's a digital display in the center, which is also not up to 21st century standards. Other than that, very comfortable, full manual controls. So that's another thing at this price point you'd have to take in consideration. But I'm blown away by how much headroom I have in here. Speaking of headroom, let's go ahead and check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to be sitting in this 2019 Fiesta. All right, guys, I'm in the back seat of the 2019 Fiesta. You can see the same dark hard plastics back on the rear door panels, just like on the front. The seating, what's interesting is once you get inside, even for somebody my size, 6 feet tall, check out the headroom I have. That's one thing, this being a subcompact, so smart to have that much headroom. And like I said, we're getting the great MPGs and having a little bit of ST style to it is really nice. Same pattern on the rear seats, which is another nice touch that they brought that from front to rear. I haven't really moved the seat in front of me that much, so you can see plenty of leg room, even for somebody my size. Would I want to go 300 miles in this car? No, not in the back seat, but hey, to get around, it is quite comfortable. You have one single cup holder, so I guess if you're back here with your super big gulp with somebody else, you're gonna have to fight for that one cup holder, maybe do like rock, paper, scissors or something. There is a 12 volt. I would like to see, obviously, a USB port back here, but you know they're not gonna do that because, like we said, this is the final year of the Fiesta being sold in the United States, which is a shame. Let's go ahead and see what kind of junk we could put in the trunk. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, probably the most important part of any hatchback is what can you put in that cargo area once the hatch opens. Guess what? For a subcompact, this has a lot of space, a lot of room. One zonk I'm gonna have to do is that it's very deep. Now, the good news about that is you could put something very tall in the back of this hatch. Now, the opening is a pretty good size, but to get that item out is gonna be a little bit of a bear. Another thing that I have a problem with the way Ford does the seats in the Focus and the Fiesta is where they put the button to lower the seat. So this has a 60-40 split. You gotta reach over this security shade, and then once you press it, life is easy, but getting to it is a little hard. Obviously, the seat back, it's gonna hurt that from laying flat, but I'll go ahead and show you. That's how flat it lies once the seat is down, and there's that 60-40 split. But that's really the great thing about this Fiesta is, as a subcompact, it's very small in size, but you can get a lot of stuff into and out of the Fiesta. Let's go ahead and take this one for a spin. Rolling out of Walker Ford, sunny Clearwater, Florida, in the 2019 Fiesta ST-Line. There is a distinct sound coming from the back of the car from that twin snorkel exhaust. Let's go ahead and stomp on it on the loud pedal. The 6-speed, not a lot of pep out of this 120 horsepower engine, but it's very, very smooth. So there wasn't like a lot of herk and jerk with the gearbox dropping down a gear, but it kind of felt like RPMs were going up and we weren't really rolling forward at a faster speed. Now, with some time we were going, but that would be a downside to getting the automatic is, yes, you could drive this car even if you don't know how to drive manual, and it would be just easier overall to operate. But with that 5-speed, you know, you're a little bit more in control of transmitting the power to the front wheels as you go through the different gears to make it at least seem a little bit more peppy. But it is that familiar Fiesta home. I like how spacious it is. I like the layout of the instrumentation. You can see that digital display that I was telling you about. Little dated looking, but at least it has the coolant temperature gauge there. Some cars, it seems like they're just giving us less and less gauges. And it's important to know what your car's doing in case there's an emergency. I do like that they went with the larger screen. Remember, on your standard Fiesta, just like on a lot of the other Ford products, when you go with the base model, you get this little tiny posted size stamp of a screen. This one is a little bit larger, and it is very easy to use, which is a nice feature. There isn't navigation. I would like to see navigation at this $20,000 price point, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I personally would just spend the money. If I was you, spend the money, get the ST, drive the manual. If you don't know how to drive manual, give me a call. I'll teach you, and we'll make it part of a review. But that's my advice. And the wonderful thing is, Walker Ford has a 2019 gray ST, beautiful color, real deal with the turbocharger, the automatic with the naturally aspirated engine. It's a little anemic, and you're definitely going to be wanting some more power out of it, but you are going to get awesome MPGs in the city. 28. All right, guys, so we're pulling onto this highway here. Just to give you an idea, I have it floored. Like I said, it's 120 horsepower, so you'd have to just go with that expectation that this isn't a pocket rocket like the Fiesta ST is. If you wanted a real pocket rocket, that Fiesta ST has lots of pep, and it is so fun to drive. This, though, like I said, being a subcompact, you would think you'd be more cramped, Being 6 feet tall, I feel very comfortable in here. Lots of headroom. I like the layout of the gauges. They're easy to read. Everything is within arm's reach. And the seat overall is actually pretty comfy. Like I said, the only option you get is cloth. Now, if you go the Fiesta ST route, the nice thing is you could get those optional Recaro seats, which are really, really nice. Cabin, it's on the quieter side, but still I can hear some buffeting and wind noise. But remember, this is a subcompact car at a lower price point. These are things you just have to keep into consideration if you're looking at a Fiesta ST-Line. The 6-speed, it's quiet when it shifts. It's just like I said, there's no sense of urgency in anything. Let me go ahead and pitch this in. The Fiesta handles well. That's what's wonderful about it, is that it handles well. As I come on out this road, I'm at Florida again, you're just waiting. You know, it's a waiting game. The shifts feel a little mushy. That's the way I'm gonna word that. I wish the shifts just had a little bit more crisp feel to them as they go from one gear to the other. That's probably my biggest zonk for the gearbox, is that squishiness. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't have that immediate drop down. But like I said, this is 120 horsepower inline 4. I like the steering wheel though. It's a good size. I like the feel of it. And you know, it's got exactly what you need if you're going to use this car. This car is a great daily driver, get you from A to B with some really good MPGs. Let me go ahead and see this handling again. I'll show you as I tip it in this left-hander. On the brakes, pitch it in. Like I said, for a subcompact car, you can see there's not a lot of drama happening from the front. Handles really well as we go around this bend here. And then with the 6-speed, you have that nice overdrive that when you're cruising on the highway, it's really going to help ramp up those MPGs to where you're not burning a lot of fuel. Visibility, excellent. Out the front, the windshield's excellent. Even with the smaller hatchback, because remember, this is a subcompact, so it's smaller than the Focus. The back window has great visibility. I got somebody sitting back there and I can still see just fine. Side mirrors are excellent. So that's a real big plus, is that driving this car is very easy to operate and it's very easy to navigate. And that's what's gonna make this a perfect daily driver. I would be fine having one of these if I had a GT350 sitting in my garage. If my GT350 was my weekend car and I had this as my daily driver to get me back and forth to work, I'm fine with that. If you're a college student, this would be great. Those college parking lots can get very hectic, very tight on parking. This would be a dream to park in any kind of parking garage or anything like that, just because it's so easy to see out of. So that's something that's going to be important, I know, for some of you. But where you're touching, the finishes are pretty good. The AC controls are so easy to operate. You don't even have to look. I mean, you just reach down, you want the blower fan to go faster, you just, real easy, just crank the little knob and it's perfect like that. But even right now we're doing about 65 and overall still quiet. I mean, over those expansion joints of the overpass, not a lot of drama. And I think the benefit of this car is that, like I said, it weighs 2,600 pounds. So you're not pushing a lot of heft around, and that's what makes it so small and nimble. Now, if you live in the inner cities of an area where you have to park on the street, this would definitely be a great option, because to parallel this car, park this car, would be a snap. Even some of the tighter situations, that's the benefit of this car. Plus, with it being on the smaller side, you still get a lot of usable space, especially if you don't have people sitting in the back. You put that 60-40 split down, you could haul a lot of stuff in this subcompact. And I guess this is one thing that's just sad, is just saying goodbye to it, because this is it for the Fiesta in the United States. Europe and other parts of the world, they're still getting their Fiesta. They actually got an upgraded Fiesta, so their party continues while the party's over here in the United States. But we're going to go ahead and get on over to Walker Ford and wrap this up, because we got tons of other reviews
yet to film. So I will see you in a split second.
All right, guys, it's been a wonderful day here at Walker Ford. Definitely got to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Austin, Mark, Steven, Jason, Denise, Greg. So many people here, so many great people support Raiti's Rides, love Raiti's Rides, and I'm very grateful for them opening up their wonderful dealership to us. If these are the types of cars that you like to see on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're just stopping by, hit that subscribe button on your way out. I promise it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for your support and your dedication and being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Make sure you check out all my forms of social media. You know what the sites are. You use them yourself. It's all Raiti's Rides original content all the time. Get yourself some merch. You click that button right in the description. That'll take you to Spreadshirt. We got to give a huge shout out and a thank you to YouTube Cameraman of the Month. He actually submitted and we got a win for him. Big Guns McGee, Tom Mosher. That's going to line him up perfect for his powerlifting competition coming up. Win for a win. Sounds good to me. Show him some love. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.